Hi guys, thanks again for joining me today. Today we're going to talk about something really cool. They're called switch statements. They're another type of decision structure that's made available to you in Java. So basically, switch statements allow us to evaluate a certain variable. That's the one that we have here in parentheses after the word switch. And it allows us to evaluate it and see what the actual value of that variable is. And depending on the specific value of the variable, we're going to execute a really specific piece of code. So, and the values that you see after each of these keywords case, those are the values that we're evaluating to see if this variable is actually equal to. And if it does, we'll go ahead and execute what's actually within that case statement, which in this case, I just have system printout messages to keep this kind of simple for you all. But in actuality, these can become much more complex. So for this, this is an example. Let's say that you're creating some type of software program for a phone directory system. This phone directory system, let's say that is a business building that houses many different businesses, and you're wanting to create a directory that can basically route the caller to a different customer service office, a different office inside of that uh, inside of that building complex, depending on what number they enter on their phone keypad. So if they were to enter 100, for example, you would say connecting to suite 100, 200, and so on. So that's just an example, but this can be used in many different situations. That can be a really useful tool when you're working in Java. So let's go ahead and run this and see what we get. What we should get, because the keypad value is set to 300, we should enter this test case, which says connecting you to suite 300. Let's see if that works. Okay, it looks like we actually have something called case fall through happening here, and that's because I forgot to put a break statement after the case 300. And that's actually good because that's something that I want to talk to you guys about, specifically how to avoid that or how to utilize that to your advantage. So let's go ahead and start talking about that. For the switch statement, it's very important. Unlike if statements, you have to put a break keyword after every case statement, except for the default. But all the ones before that, you have to put the break. Otherwise, what may happen is what you just saw. So in combination to executing the true statement, which in this case is 300, case fall through actually happens by after executing that statement, it will also execute the one after that and continue doing so all the way down the line until it reaches an actual break keyword. So always include the break keyword in all of your switch statements in every single case except for the default, no matter what, unless you're utilizing a technique called case fall through, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. So previously, I told you about case follow through and how it's something you want to try to avoid unless you're explicitly trying to use it. This is an example of me explicitly trying to use case follow through. Let's say, for example, in this same office building, let's say, as I said previously, there are many different businesses with different suite numbers. But let's say a few of these suite numbers, they belong to the same business. They just have multiple offices because their business is a little larger than the others. But let's say they route all their customer service calls to the same office and the same person answers that phone call. So in this situation, it will be okay for, or should I say, it won't matter if the person enters 200, 201, 205, and so on, all the way down up to 210, because no matter what, that call is still going to be routed to, let's say, suite 200. This is an example where we can use case follow through. So in this example, for the cases, for case of it being 200, 201, 202, all the way to 210, we don't write any statements to execute, and we also don't include any break statements. So as I previously showed you, since there are no break statements, what actually happens is the program continues to execute every case after that until it reaches the break statement. And because we have the break statement in case 210, it's actually going to end up executing 210. It's going to say connecting you to 200. So in effect, what we've done here is we created a program where no matter what the user enters, if they enter anything from 200 all the way to 210, they're going to get the printout message saying connecting you to suite 200. And that's actually a really effective way to use case fall through. So I'm going to go ahead and run this and see if we're getting what we should expect. Let's go ahead and change this keypad input to, let's say, 204, for example. And what we should get is we should have case fall through where once this program enters this case, it will actually fall through to all the next ones and continue executing until it gets to the one with the break statement, which in this case is 210, and it'll say connecting you to suite 200. But let's see if that's what we get. Connecting you to 200. So as you can see, that's an effective way to use case fall through. I hope that you guys really did enjoy this video. I hope that you learned something new. If you have any suggestions for improvement, if you have any recommendations or you have any requests for future content, please go ahead and share that in the comments. If you guys like this, please subscribe. Thank you.